Y'all, Mariah Carey is getting dragged for filth for sacrificing her mom and sister for fame, and the internet is losing its ever-loving mind over this. Mariah's sister Allison and their mom Patricia passed away a couple of days ago, and while fans are initially sorry for Mariah, some fans are now putting two and two together and are accusing Mariah of allegedly being into some shady stuff. Mariah has been accused in the past of being into some shady stuff, especially because both of her siblings claim that they allegedly used to take part in satanic rituals as kids. And with her mom and siblings passing away, well, fans are starting to piece this together, and it looks like there is more to the situation than meets the eye. So has Mariah really been practicing witchcraft this entire time? And did her sister really try to warn us before she passed? Let's spill the tea. So a few days ago, Mariah shared some heartbreaking news through People magazine, announcing that both her mom, Patricia, and her sister, Allison, sadly passed away on the same day. She said, "My heart is broken that I've lost my mother this past weekend. Sadly, in a tragic turn of events, my sister lost her life on the same day. I feel blessed that I was able to spend the last week with my mom before she passed. I appreciate everyone's love and support and respect for my privacy during this impossible time." Losing two loved ones on the same day is beyond tragic. And even though Mariah and Allison weren't on the best terms, losing a sibling is still incredibly tough. We don't have all the details about how Mariah's mom passed, but it kind of sounds like Mariah saw it coming. In her statement, she mentioned feeling blessed to have spent the week with her mom. Some sources are claiming that Patricia was dealing with a long-term illness that left her bedridden toward the end of her life, and Mariah was incredibly supportive of her mom during her illness. Now, we don't know how long Patricia was sick for, but sources are hinting that the illness went on for quite some time. Now, like I said, Mariah keeps the specifics private, which is totally her right, because dealing with this grief is hard enough with the added pressure of trying to cater to fans online. But usually when family gathers like that, it's because things are looking pretty bad and they want to be there before the worst happens. And like Mariah said, she spent the week with her mom before the passing, so it kind of seemed like a hospice kind of situation where they knew what was coming, as sad as it sounds. If you've been keeping up with Mariah's journey over the years, you know that her relationship with her mom hasn't always been the easiest. Things have been quite toxic between them in the past, and at a point it was starting to look like they would never get along ever because the situation was so messy. Mariah has spoken about this relationship between her and her mom, and she claimed that at a point she doubted that they could ever have a relationship because they just couldn't get along. She seemed to even open up about it in her memoir, sharing some of the ups and downs they've had. She wrote, "Like many aspects of my life, my journey with my mother has been full of contradictions and competing realities. It's been a whole rainbow of emotions. Our relationship is a prickly rope of pride, pain, shame, gratitude, jealousy, admiration, and disappointment." Mariah continued in the book, "A complicated love tethers my heart to my mother's." But despite these rocky moments, Mariah still managed to maintain a relationship with her mother. We don't know exactly how close they were, but if Mariah was willing to drop everything and be by her mom's side, they seemed on pretty good terms. Or at least they were in a place in their relationship where Mariah felt enough goodwill towards her mom to put her life on hold for a week just to be with her mom. But sadly, the same can't be said for Allison, Mariah's sister. Reports are claiming that she and Mariah weren't on good terms when Allison passed, and honestly, this isn't very surprising given how tense things have always been between Mariah and her sister Allison. Mariah has been open in the past about the strained relationship she has with Allison and has made it clear that she isn't interested at the very least in maintaining a relationship of any kind with Allison. In her memoir, Mariah spoke about her strained relationship, saying that it was emotionally and physically safer for me not to have any contact with her sister anymore. She has also spoken up about the reasons she chose not to have Allison in her life anymore. And in her memoir, she wrote, "When I was 12 years old, my sister drugged me with Valium, offered me a pinky nail full of cocaine, inflicted me with third-degree burns, and tried to sell me out to a pimp." Now, we've heard about some toxic family drama, but this is crazy and way more than enough reason for Mariah to want to cut Allison off. However, Allison has always denied this, accusing Mariah of making things up to make herself look good in the media. In fact, Allison claimed that she was the one who had a traumatic childhood because her mom, Patricia, allegedly pimped her out when she was just a child. She spoke to The Sun about it, and according to the reporter, Allison claims she remembered feeling uncomfortable when her mom asked her to talk with a man she knew from church in his car. She said, "I stayed in the car until he tried to get me to touch him. Then I tried to get out. For her to ask me to talk to him in his car, it didn't seem that strange. At the time, it didn't come up in my mind. She was my mother. That's what you asked me to do, and I'll do it." But get this, Mariah also doesn't have a good relationship with her brother, Morgan. Morgan and Allison still have a good relationship, but he has criticized Mariah in the past for refusing to maintain a relationship with her siblings, especially Allison. For example, when Allison needed brain and spinal surgery in 2016, Morgan put Mariah on blast for not stepping in to take care of her sister. He said she probably spends more on dog food than it would cost to make sure her sister gets properly cared for. Allison has desperately reached out to Mariah over and over again. We never hear back. However, Mariah has often said that she's given her family, including Allison, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years, but she didn't say for what. Now, before you guys start bashing Allison and accusing her of all kinds of stuff, it's important to note that Allison has battled addiction for a long time. According to The Sun magazine, Allison allegedly started working as a sex worker at the age of just 16, which reportedly led to a heroin addiction, and she later contracted HIV. Addiction is a difficult thing to deal with, and Allison had her struggles for a very long time. Even more, she was also homeless for some time, and The Sun claimed that Allison often slept in cars or lived in hostels for the homeless, and claiming she received no financial support from her sister. Now, I'm not saying that Mariah owes her sister anything, but being homeless while your sister is worth hundreds of millions of dollars is very interesting. Apart from the horrible stuff about her being essayed and allegedly pimped out by her mom, she claimed that she was also allegedly taken to terrifying satanic ceremonies. This probably explains her struggles, because we often see addiction and other struggles with people who have been essayed as kids. She also claimed that her mom forced her to partake in these satanic acts to boost Mariah's career, which was shady as F. In 2018, Allison did an interview and said, "It sounds hard to believe, and I have so many memories I wish I never had. A close family member used to wake me up just before 2 a.m. and take me to an old hall that looked like a castle, which was a short walk from the church we used to attend in Huntington, New York. The place is still there. I could show you exactly where it is. Then terrible things would happen. Things that a child should never see. I was essayed there. They told me if I didn't do what they told me, or if I told them what was going on, they would harm Mariah." However, according to TMZ, Allison's addiction created a rift between the sisters, eventually leading Mariah to cut her off. Things were reportedly so strained that TMZ claimed Mariah didn't even reach out to Allison before she passed away. TMZ went on to report that Mariah tried supporting Allison both emotionally and financially, but it wasn't enough to get Allison back on the straight and narrow. Our sources say Mariah ultimately decided she needed to show Allison some tough love and not act as an enabler, so she cut off her sister and put up a wall between them. However, after Allison passed away, one of her friends, David Baker, spoke out, saying that Allison had been desperate to reconnect with her sister before her death. According to David, Mariah wasn't responsive to Allison's attempts to reach out. He claimed that Mariah never made any effort to contact Allison even after she was allegedly informed a month earlier that Allison was dying. Speaking to the U.S. Sun, David said, "Allison was unhappy that her baby sister had cut off contact with her. She talked about it frequently. She wondered if Mariah or any of her relatives would come to her funeral. Mariah has never tried to contact Allison, even after she was told a month ago that Allison was dying. A phone call, or better still, a video call, would have meant so much to Allison, but it never came. And now Mariah is heartbroken by the loss of her mother and her ex-sister. That callous rejection added more hurt to Allison's pain." However, fans are now saying that Mariah might have sacrificed her sister and her mom. Y'all know that whenever stuff like this happens, fans are always quick to come up with conspiracy theories about what happened. From what we know though, Mariah was also exposed to some shady cold stuff when she was a child, like her siblings said they were. And there have been accusations that she has been secretly practicing witchcraft all these years. We've all heard stories about how many top celebrities have had to sacrifice someone close to them for fame, and Kanye West even admitted this in the past. Fans are now talking about how weird and improbable it was that 2 people close to her passed away, and they are now pointing fingers at her and giving her the side eye. Fans definitely commented, and they said stuff like, "Mariah Carey grew up in an occult-connected family on her mom's side. The Carey family roots trace back to Ireland. They even have their own crest. Her mom and sister's deaths needs to be investigated thoroughly. This is without a doubt a double satanic occult human sacrifice. The satanic sacrifices of Mariah Carey's mother and sister on the same day are no coincidence. The devil came to collect. Prayers to the loved ones. You can't play the game and expect to be let off free. Enjoy your payback every Christmas. And so horrified they continue to participate in child sacrifice for Mariah's career. They put money and fame over a child's life? Well, they both died last weekend, cause unknown. And if this is true, then I hope eternity in hell was worth designer cars, clothing, mansions, etc. But what do y'all think about this? Do you really think that Mariah really sacrificed her mom and sister? Or do you think that people are doing way too much? Drop your thoughts and comments below and then check out this next video.